Ciao Fabri, welcome back in the
Ciao guys.
podcast. Today we speak about Manchester United. There's been a big week for Man United. We start talking about a lot of secrets around Man United and also the one of Mbeumo, what happened, who really tried, if there was one, to hijack the deal.
Yeah, it's a big moment for Manchester United on the market because after these long negotiations with Brentford, they've been able to sign Bryan Mbeumo, who was always committed to joining Manchester United. There were rumors about Chelsea trying to hijack the move, but from what I heard, the only club really pushing to try enter the deal was Tottenham. As soon as they confirmed Thomas Frank as their new coach, they tried to enter the negotiation, tried to understand by offering Champions League football if they had the chance to convince the player, but the answer, with maximum respect from Bryan Mbeumo to Thomas Frank because he loves him as a coach, but the dream of Bryan Mbeumo was always and only Manchester United. He decided to wait for them, even if it was a long negotiation, and so for Mbeumo there was never a plan B or plan C, only Man United. He told Brentford very clear already in June, so it was about being patient. He's been patient, and so now Bryan Mbeumo, new addition to Manchester United squad.
So two signings for Manchester United, Matheus Cunha and also Mbeumo. What can we expect from Man United? What's the priority right now for the club?
The next priority, from what I'm hearing, not the only one, but the next one is going to be the striker. Manchester United, okay, as you mentioned, they signed Matheus Cunha, they signed Bryan Mbeumo, two important players to facilitate and help the idea, the system of Ruben Amorim to play behind the striker, so that's going to be really important. They needed to add something in that position also because of the outgoings, but Manchester United are now working on an important striker. They want to bring in a striker who can score a lot of goals, who can be part of the project for present and future. So Man United are really actively working on that. From what I heard in the last 7 days, already 2 meetings internally took place to decide who is the best option, to consider all the opportunities on the market. So Man United are really pushing on a new striker, and I think that's going to be something almost guaranteed to happen in the next 35 days of the transfer window.
Talking about strikers, one of the latest, here we go, was Gyökeres to Arsenal from you. There were a lot of rumors about Gyökeres and Manchester United, even in the last days of this deal. What can we say? Did they really try to hijack the deal?
Yeah, there was an opportunity for Manchester United to enter into this deal, and from what I heard, they made some contact to be informed of the situation, because we all know, similar to the Mbeumo United situation, the Gyökeres Arsenal saga has also been very long, and so during this situation some intermediaries close to Sporting, very close to the club, tried to contact Manchester United and to give them the opportunity like to enter in the deal, try to hijack, try to convince the player, because on Sporting side they were very open to doing business with different clubs. They did that with Saudi clubs a few weeks ago, then with Manchester United. They tried to incentivize other clubs to enter the negotiation and match Arsenal bid and try to get the player, but it was always impossible for Man United or any other club. They didn't present any official bid for one reason: Gyökeres only wanted to go to Arsenal. Every time he had the opportunity to go elsewhere, the answer from the player and also his agent was very clear and very strong: Arsenal Football Club, no other option. 5-year contract agreed, and so that's why Gyökeres is going to Arsenal, because of his commitment. Also, after a very long negotiation, now the parties are exchanging all the formal emails with the details of the contracts, and as soon as it will be done, it will be signed and official.
This deal also happened for Hugo Ekitike, as you revealed, and Liverpool as well.
Yeah, it was similar. Let's say that Man United are looking for an important striker, and obviously these are important strikers, Ekitike, Victor Gyökeres. So obviously Man United got informed about this situation. So on Gyökeres, it was from intermediaries close to Sporting trying to incentivize this opportunity. From what I heard about Ekitike, it was more about Eintracht, because Man United made contact for Ekitike in June. He was one of their potential targets. Then the price was very high. Man United decided to focus on Cunha and Mbeumo as priorities for this summer. But for Ekitike, Man United were offered by Eintracht the chance of entering into the deal when the negotiation with Newcastle collapsed almost 10 days ago. It was a Monday. That story collapsed pretty quickly because the player was waiting for different opportunities, and Man United had the chance to enter, but then when Liverpool decided to go very strong to agree on 6-year deal with Hugo Ekitike, there was no longer any chance. So also in this case, Man United considered this opportunity, but it was not something that they made with an official bid. So it was just part of the market. I think this is something absolutely normal for top clubs to explore opportunities and then make their own decisions.
So we spoke about strikers, players who didn't arrive at Man United. What can we expect? Who is the priority? Who are the priorities for United right now after these deals are going through?
Yeah, they're being offered several opportunities. For example, they are aware of the situation of Nicolas Jackson at Chelsea, one of the strikers who could be on the move this summer. And in that case, also, we have to be attentive to what happens with a very good relationship between Chelsea and Manchester United. But at the moment, still no bid and still nothing advanced for that one. So we keep that one quiet at the moment for Nicolas Jackson. And then Ollie Watkins at Aston Villa is another striker really appreciated by Manchester United. One of the options they've been considering for weeks. Also in this case, no bid, no formal communication, but also in this case the relationship is good. They did a deal for Marcus Rashford in January, so I think that could also be an opportunity. Ollie Watkins, and then there is also the name of Benjamin Sesko being discussed internally, but at the moment still considered very expensive, so not an easy one at all. But Manchester United are considering several strikers. They are being offered strikers too. For example, Dusan Vlahovic, who is going to leave Juventus this summer, has been offered to the club. So I think Man United will wait a bit to understand who is the ideal target, but for sure will bring in a new striker.
So we know the Man United fans want to know also who's going to be another priority after the striker role for the club.
Yeah, look, I think the next one is going to be a goalkeeper. Now Man United are discussing internally what they want to do in terms of goalkeeper, because, okay, Onana is injured, it's not a long injury, he will be back soon, with Bajindir as second goalkeeper also, but Man United are considering the opportunity to bring in a new goalkeeper. There are two ways now. Go for an experienced goalkeeper who can have an instant impact, like Emi Martinez, who can still leave Aston Villa, a player who is keen on a move to Manchester United, and so let's see what happens there, but will still be expensive, so Man United need to decide whether they want to bring a goalkeeper like Emi Martinez who can be a starter and so compete with Andre Onana, or maybe a younger goalkeeper who can be maybe developing under Andre Onana. For example, one of the names I'm hearing is Lammens at Royal Antwerp, a goalkeeper very talented, who Man United have been scouting for a long time, and they already made some contact with Antwerp to be informed on the conditions of the deal. So these two names are on the table, but I also expect Man United to sign a new goalkeeper this summer.
So 2 more signings and that's it, or we can expect more?
Yeah, look, never say never on the market. These two are priorities, so striker and goalkeeper. For example, keep an eye on the situation of the defensive midfielder, because it's something that Manchester United at the start of the transfer window considered to do. Then they put that one in standby because they wanted to focus financially and also on a technical point of view on Mbeumo and Cunha as important needs for Ruben Amorim. But I think in case in the next weeks there is a good opportunity on the market, a good name to consider, well, I think there is a chance for Manchester United to go also for a defensive midfielder. Again, it will depend on the budget. It will depend also on the outgoings, because selling players for financial fair play and for all the clubs in England and not only is really important. But defensive midfielder could also be an opportunity for Manchester United in this transfer window.
So you just touched on the point of selling players. This is probably the core of the transfer market for United next weeks. The pre-season tour started and many players were left out of the project by Ruben Amorim, who is completely out of the project and has no chance to be back in the squad.
Well, Tyrell Malacia is completely out after loan at PSV Eindhoven. He has to go. He has no chance to return in the squad. Same for Alejandro Garnacho, who already decided after the Europa League final he will be out. A decision made on player side and also on club side. Jadon Sancho is not going to be part of Manchester United plans in any case, so he's completely out of the plans. We had some stories also on Harry Maguire not being with the squad. Maguire only had personal private reasons. This is why he was not traveling with the squad, but he will be back very soon, so he's absolutely part of the plans of Ruben Amorim, but there are still many players to sell. All these names I mentioned after Marcus Rashford, who signed his contract as new Barcelona player, all these names, all these players have to go, and this is going to be very important for Manchester United financially. And don't forget also about Antony. Antony is another interesting case, with Real Betis still pushing to find a solution with Manchester United. The player is keen on returning to Betis. There are also more clubs around Europe interested in Antony after the fantastic second part of the season he had at Betis on loan, so I think that one is going to be another interesting case, because Antony is leaving Man United.
You mentioned Alejandro Garnacho. We had many rumors also in January with Napoli possibly acquire him. Do you expect him to stay in the Premier League this summer?
Yes, I expect him to stay in the Premier League. At the moment, this is his priority. Then we have to see if the right opportunity will be available on the market. But Garnacho received inquiries from Italy, from Germany, Bayer Leverkusen with Erik Ten Hag. But what I'm hearing is that he wants to stay in the Premier League. He's convinced that he can stay and compete in the Premier League. So let's see which club will decide to enter and attack this opportunity to go for Garnacho. I say again, keep an eye on Chelsea, because Chelsea are trying to sign Xavi Simons. Yes, Xavi Simons is the priority, but in addition to that, also the situation of Garnacho has always been interesting for Chelsea since last January, and so I would keep this name as one of their options. Not something advanced at the moment, but one to watch.
Last one for today about Rasmus Højlund's future is still in doubt.
Yes, many rumors on Højlund. I can tell you that on player side is very clear. He wants to stay at Man United. He wants to fight for his place at Man United. He wants to live his dream of being a Manchester United player. He really loves the club, so he doesn't want to leave. Then, if someone from the club, maybe management, maybe the technical staff, maybe the coach, go to meet him and tells him, okay, you have to go, Højlund will consider all the options on the market. In that case, yes. But at the moment, he insists on staying at Man United, fight for his place. So let's see what happens there, but this is on the club. This is not on the player.
Thank you, Fabri, for today, and talk to you soon.
Thank you. Ciao, guys.